Hey, Adam,
Yes.
who is K9's arch nemesis?
No idea who.
Kit 10.
Oh, Bane is disappointed by your joke.
Planet of the pudding brains.
There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Do you like a jelly baby? Shut up!
Hello and welcome, Whovians. It's time for a brand new episode of... God damn,
Again.
son of a bitch.
And then... no, I don't.
Hello and welcome, Whovians. It's time for a new episode of Musings of a Pudding Brain. I'm Adam,
And I'm Matt.
and that was my better of the two openers this week.
Yeah, there was some editing involved in the beginning of this episode, but that's okay. We'll let you go with that daily.
Yeah.
We forgive you.
Anyway...
The doctor may not.
It's a usual thing for me. So this week we are going over Knock Knock and Oxygen, two pretty well self-contained episodes.
Yes, yeah. Both very much kind of morality-based episodes, standalones with only teasers to the arc stories at the beginning and end of the episodes.
Yeah,
Little crumb drops, as it were.
a Moffat trope, if you will.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, he's been doing that since since he took over the show.
So, yeah, it's one of those things we're kind of used to, but they are standalones, no to be continued on these for the storyline. But Knock Knock opens with Bill doing the normal student thing and trying to find flatmates to get out of Mum's house.
I mean, that could be said for a lot of people these days.
Yes, but it's, the group of college students, they all obviously sort of know each other loosely anyway. Bill's
Right.
not familiar with everybody, but no, they're good people. It's okay. We all pay rent. It'll be fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they realize exactly how expensive housing is and get shot down and pretty much get led out of the real estate office going, you people are impossible.
Why do you think you can afford a place like right now?
Right. Or like not next to a giant factory that's going to have sirens going off and kicking off steam and noise at all points. And
You know
of the
what?
night.
I could sleep next to that. I lived next to a firehouse at one point.
I'm very sorry for your childhood.
Yeah, I was 5.
Oh, good times.
Yeah,
times.
my bedroom windows were faced directly out to the street, and it was right across the street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. That's your generic mutant power. I can sleep anywhere.
I can sleep through pretty much anything.
Didn't you hear that? I was asleep. No.
Sorry. Aliens took over the planet. I was taking a nap, okay?
Right. So, after having a lot of no luck, basically, and finding a place, they're escorted out of the realtor's office, and, of course, there's a kind of mysterious, creepy old dude who is hanging out outside, just going, "Oh, hello, children. Do you need a place to live?" It's very much, it's not as sinister as that, but it's like, okay, creeper.
Yeah. It's like, all right, this is not going to go as well as you expect.
Right, but of course they're desperate for a place, so they follow him to this gigantic old house.
Yeah, it's
where,
beautiful.
There he's asking very little for rent. It's one of those too good to be true kind of scenarios,
Yeah.
which of course the students are all just like, yeah, we'll sign your contract. Again, creepy old dudes with contracts. Get a lawyer.
Read them.
Read it really carefully. Again, omens of things to come. And of course, the one flatmate moves in first thing, and he kind of hears it's a creaky old house. And,
Yeah.
it's okay, it's old and it's wooden, so it's going to make noises and whatnot. But he gets into his room and puts on a turntable, puts on an old vinyl. Classical music starts playing, and the camera pans out, and you then hear a lot of screaming, and we can assume that he just got eaten by an unknown creature, entity, alien,
That-
phenomena.
that lives inside the house.
That is somewhere inside the house, yes. Opening credits. Ooh-wee. Picks up with the doctor and Bill packing. Bill has packed a bunch of stuff, and she's angled it in her apartment in a very specific pile in the corner. And she starts to hear the noise of the TARDIS and counts it down, and the TARDIS appears right over the packaging. I'm like, that's a brilliant way to pack a moving van right there.
Exactly.
Damn, I need a TARDIS. Because, of course, that's what a fat Jedi would do. It's like, no, time and space, whatever. Just here, just park it right there, and I'll pick it up. We'll move it. Not a problem.
Yeah. really puts procrastination into an art form at that point.
Oh my
You're like,
goodness.
I don't have to do this until when? I mean, I can do it now and be completely done with it, or I can wait.
Yeah, we can do this. We can do anything we want. I can be right back to where I am. I have a time machine.
Yeah.
Which again explains a lot of the Doctor, especially Peter Capaldi's Doctor so far. It's like, yeah, I made a promise. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can be right back here. It's okay.
I'm not actually leaving.
Right. But the Doctor helps her move, and like, well, why didn't we just park this right in your room?
Yeah.
And no, I want to make a good impression. Yeah, we'll carry them in. And of course, the Doctor looks at the house, and immediately the cross eyebrows kick into full alert, and he's very focused on the house, and he doesn't like it. Something's up with the house. It's like a cat staring at a friggin' shadow on the wall. Pay attention. The cat will save your life. Pay attention when the Doctor suddenly goes very scowly.
Yeah.
It may save your life. Pay attention.
I've always looked at the Doctor in these moments and gone, he knows that there's a bear in the area, and he just picked up a stick, and he's like, I'm gonna go poke this thing.
Pretty much. Or on the other side, like, there's a bear in the area, and I'm not going to tell the people around me because I don't want them to panic.
Yeah, I don't need them to panic right now.
They don't need to know until they need to know. You're just never sure with the Doctor.
Exactly.
So you just take the ride. Again, Bill comments on it about, oh yeah, no, it's really drafty, it makes noises. And, the tower is off limits, because of course the tower is always off limits in these scenarios.
Well, of course. You don't go to
no
the
explanation why, other than it's not safe. Don't go up there.
Yeah.
Like, not safe for who? Exactly. Why is it not
Is
safe?
it gonna collapse?
And again,
what's going on?
Like, students don't ask these questions immediately. They're just, oh yeah, no, whatever. Okay, fine. Like, no, ask these questions. You're living in the area. Why is this section of the house off limits? At least tell me it's condemned. The stairs are unsafe. Something about it, like, will cause you physical harm.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Give an explanation, because when you don't, you make people curious, and it has been proven time again.
There's
that
an
this is
Egyptian curse in the tower. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is something you don't do with humanity in general, much less college students.
I know.
Who will immediately be like, we're not supposed to go there. Oh, we're going there.
Let's do this.
But it turns out they really don't have time to contemplate the tower too much, because even with the Doctor hanging out and trying to, like, not get kicked out, Bill keeps trying to, like, shoo him away.
She's like, seriously, go.
Yeah, like,
leave. And he's like, no.
this-
There's this thing. I'm just gonna make sure it's perfectly fine for you guys, and then I'm gonna check that out, and then I'm gonna go over here, and yeah.
Yeah, and even the landlord shows up after much conversation about the other flatmates hearing weird noises. And again, the Doctor goes away. But then later in the night, they hear a lot of racket coming from the kitchen, and there's a tense scene where nobody wants to go, and then Bill goes first, and everybody follows in behind her, like, oh, she's gonna go first. And Bill opens the door, and of course it's the Doctor.
In the pantry.
You know what's funny? There's no ductwork. There's no heating. There's no vents. You know what this is? This is an old oil heater. Why is there no technology anywhere in here?
Yes. Out of everything that he could be talking about, it's that.
Right. Not like, why are you in the closet, dude?
He's like, no. I've been looking for stuff.
Tom Cruise. I'm not in the closet. But he scares the shit out of the kids, of course. and notices, there's no tech at all in the house. At which point, the creepy landlord just shows up. Nobody hears him comes in. He
No.
just like banks the corners and like, hi.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Hello. It's like, yeah, where did you come from, dude?
I'm sneaky. Very, very sneaky.
And he's asking about, is there any problems, and he makes an allusion about having a daughter that, is under protection, and that's, why he rents out the house.
Yep.
Again, very vague, very kind of creepy, and he's really, really touchy about the tower. The doctor asks him about the tower, and he pretty much snaps at him and borderline threatens.
Yeah.
And, the doctor starts questioning him, like, who's the prime minister?
I know.
Do you know who the prime minister is? Trying to, like, figure out, you're an alien, dude. I think you're an alien. Something's wrong here.
Right.
But the guy evades the question, never answers it.
I like the fact that Harriet Jones gets thrown out there.
Yeah. Again, where the doctor's involved, there's a lot of witty banter going on, especially in the face of somebody he knows is lying about something.
Oh, yeah.
But the landlord also asks the doctor, well, are you staying here? And strongly urges him to, leave the kids in the house. It'll be fine.
Yes.
Like, just go away. Which, again, that's kind of, in the circumstances, again, the red lights and flags should be chiming off going, this dude's creepy. Which the doctor picks up on, but the kids are just like, yeah, no,
whatever.
he's just kind of a little weird, he's a weird landlord. You get that in London. It's okay, whatever.
You get that everywhere. There's always that one weird landlord.
Right. Now, of course, the doctor contrives a reason to stay. Like, he gets one of the other flatmates is obviously worried, so he's like, "Oh, we should have a party. You want to play some music?" And she's like, "Yeah, let's play some music." And he contrives this reason to stay, and while everybody's distracted, another flatmate gets eaten.
Yep.
Because, of course, the doctor's like, instead of trying to shoo me away, why don't you ask about, like, the guy who hasn't been seen in days? Nobody just does anything. It's not something you just do to lock yourself in a room for days at a time. Go check on him.
Yeah. Is he there?
Yeah. And, Bill and two of the other flatmates, one of them who has been kind of flirting with her the entire time, not picking up the whole
I know
she's gay,
just not getting it
vibe, are pretty much decide to go to bed. So they're up in the hallways, and he hits on her again, and she pretty much drops it on him. It's like, yeah, no, I kind of like girls.
Yeah,
like, oh, I never had a chance in the world, did I? Oh, whatever. All right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and he's making cracks about the creepy old house and making noises, and does the hand behind the head like he's pulling himself back into the room, and he's being an ass. And Bill then asks the other friend, "Oh, what's your problem? Oh, you fancy him. You were kind of jealous right there, weren't you?" No, of course not. Why would I want? And this and that going on, and
I know.
Then they hear more screaming coming from the room. They're like, "Oh, very funny, haha!" And then the screaming actually changes pitch, and it is actual screaming, and they get nervous about it, and it cuts off.
Yep.
And they knock on the door. And there's a knock back, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's being an ass." And then there's a knock down the hallway, and then there's a knock down the other side of the hallway, and then there's knocking all over the hallway, and they of course freak out because the house is knocking back at them.
Well, it's a haunted house at this point.
Right. So and again, I don't understand horror story decisions. They decide to run upstairs instead of downstairs, where they're closer to the exit and can get the hell out.
I know. Staircase
right behind them, but they decide to run for the tower. The place they've been told is unsafe, which, again...
sometimes I swear that horror movies you have to immediately, when writing it, go, okay, all of these characters, the moment that they become scared, are just going to become stupid.
Yeah, panic is a hell of a thing. So,
yes.
All right, maybe we should give them a little credit for that. Especially since as they start to move, the house begins slamming doors and shutters. And meanwhile, downstairs, the doctor and two of the remaining flatmates, because
right.
We're down to 3 at this point out of the original 8, or 7, I'm sorry, notices fascinated by the door in true Doctor fashion. It's just like, this door is fascinating. They're like, why? What's about it? It's no longer a door. What do you mean?
What?
Try and open it. And they try and open it and it doesn't budge. It's like, it's stuck. And he's like, no, look, it's sealed over. And the door has literally just become part of the wall. There's no longer a door actually there.
There's no cut line.
So they realize very quickly that, okay, yeah, the house is sealing itself up. Panic ensues. One of the flatmates manages to get herself out a window, which...
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. She's the smartest one there. Look for the first immediate exit and dive through it. A little flesh damage. Well,
Whatever.
For the crash of the glass, if I can try move along in English here, is well worth getting away from whatever is trying to eat you in the house, only to get outside and the tree outside eats her.
Yeah.
It's like you were so close. You're right there. You got the points for the quick thinking and the quick exit, but you screwed up when you hesitated and looked back.
You lost your saving throw that time.
Yeah,
Really sorry.
Yeah.
You were rolling nat 20s over and over again, and then you rolled a 1.
Yeah. It's one of those, and I'm not one of these people who will typically note the lessons that can be taken from the Bible, but in some cases you don't look back. You keep going. Just
go.
Keep going. You can even take that from Greek mythology, those of you who are down with Hades and that. But same story. Don't look back, because if you look back, that's when you're dead.
Yes.
Something will catch you, and that's will be your undoing. So if you find yourself in a horror situation, keep running.
Just go.
Just
Just
go.
go.
Just keep going. Meanwhile, back to Bill and her friend, who have found their way upstairs. They first decide to check on the guy who nobody has seen.
Yes.
Before continuing on, because things have stopped making noises and they think they have a moment of safety. And, of course, they go in and they find him. Almost completely absorbed into the wall.
Yes.
Still alive, because his eyes are moving. So he is aware of them there, which is just friggin' horrifying.
Yeah. It's an Aliens moment.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, of course, as Bill and her friend Shuri are both stunned and trying to figure out what's going on, the creepy landlord appears behind them. Again, just like, hello. Like,
where did you come from?
Right. And he's completely unfazed by the kid in the wall, and it's just like, with that record skipping, because of course the vinyl is skipping every couple of times, repeating the same thing. That racket, of course, it's a distraction. Let's just take that away, and takes the needle off and says, hope is its own form of cruelty. To think, just let the inevitable happen. Takes the needle off the wall, immediately absorbs the
him.
rest of the kid.
Oh.
Dude starts to opine about he's perfectly preserved in the house, and he's one with it now, and why Bill and her friend have not knocked this dude out with something, pushed him down and run away, and
I don't
just
know.
listening to him monologue. I don't know. But he makes a comment about, well, why are you guys surprised? You signed the contract. Everybody has to pay their rent. What, except you? Yes, except me. I'm the exception. Again! Hit him and run!
Just go!
God, blessed. But, which, of course, they do eventually shift around him.
Yeah, I like how it's just a gentle shift.
Yeah, and
Just
again,
like,
back to the
and-
lessons. If something isn't chasing after you quickly, it's because they have no need to run.
Yeah.
But they make their way to the tower. Meanwhile, in the basement, the doctor and the other last remaining flatmate, we're down to 2 kids, he manages to coax out of the wood he hears the scratching and manages to coax a quote-unquote bug out of the wood, which just kind of like folds the wood out of the way and crawls out, and then the wood reforms below, and the doctor's like, oh my god, it's interacting with the wood on a cellular level. They're dryads. They're dryads. That's what they're called. Well, that's what I'm calling them.
Yeah.
Really? Well, I can't just call them lice, can I? Yes, you can call them space lice. Bugs are creepy,
I know.
especially ones that seem to be able to manipulate and interact with matter. This is not a good
Yeah,
thing.
that's not good at all.
And of course, as he's trying to catch it and trying to get the flatmate to catch it so he can study it and whatnot, a swarm of them come out of the back of the room.
Yes.
So they start running.
It comes down to the classic Doctor Who, just run.
Yeah, so they get in an elevator, which happens to be conveniently right behind them, and go down into the basement of the building, which appears to be made of brick.
Yes.
So the lice do not follow them. And the sonic screwdriver is now employed as a sonic flashlight.
It can be.
Okay, just it gets
Yeah.
new powers.
It,
Fair
you know,
enough.
it can almost do anything you need it to, except interact with wood.
Right. So, again, one of the reasons why the Doctor is a little bit panicked because he doesn't have his primary tool with him. And we flip back to Bill and her friend in the tower, who have apparently found the landlord's daughter.
Yeah.
And all we hear is a voice in the background going, "Oh, I haven't had visitors in so long." And then immediately flips back to the Doctor and the mate figuring out that the infestation has happened every 20 years because they find all these old contracts in the basement from, of course, why villains just hoard other people's stuff after they've killed them, I don't know.
Yeah.
But all of the other flatmates' possessions dating back to at least 1977.
Yeah.
It's all still down there. So it's a repeating every 20-year cycle or so that this guy is luring kids out and offering them for rent and then having the house eat everybody.
Yeah, it hasn't been... Okay, so looking that over, I understand keeping the paperwork, because, sometimes you got to get your paperwork straight. It's the physical... Just dump them somewhere.
Yeah, just Goodwill it,
Yeah,
something, anything.
donate it.
Yeah.
No one's going to ask questions.
The landlord, of course, appears in the basement now. He seems to travel through the house fairly quickly. Shows up in the basement, confronts the Doctor, and gives part of his story, saying that his daughter was dying and the creatures saved her, so of course he would attend to them and feed them, basically care for them. And he's got his little tuning fork out.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fairly obvious that the bugs are somehow controlled using vibrations or sound of some form,
Yes.
and pretty much sets them on the Doctor and the flatmate. Flatmate tries to run up the stairs and, of course, is immediately caught by the stairs and is absorbed and eaten, leaving the Doctor to stand against the landlord alone.
Yeah.
Flip back to Bill and her friend in the tower talking to the daughter, comes around the corner, and the daughter is completely and entirely made of wood. So whatever the bugs did to quote-unquote cure her was basically replace whatever diseased tissue was there and made it wood. She is literally Pinocchio at this point.
Yeah.
Bill and company are, of course, rightly freaked right out.
You're like, wait a second. Hold on.
Now, the Doctor, meanwhile in the basement, the Doctor ascertains that the bugs are controlled to some small degree by using high-frequency sounds, which is why the sonic screwdriver messed with them and drove them nuts to attack. That's why the tuning fork is used, and that's also why the skipping vinyl upstairs was messing with them, absorbing the student completely, because it was literally distracting them from eating the guy.
They're like, hey, wait.
It's nothing worse than bad dinner music.
I know.
And the Doctor, of course, manages to escape and finds his way up to the tower, where he is confronted by the landlord's daughter.
Yeah.
And starts talking, getting her talking, and gets the landlord to basically spill the rest of his story.
Yeah.
That
What?
he's not her father, he is her son,
Yeah.
who at a very young age found these bugs,
Yep.
brought them inside, and left them there for his mother. Didn't know they were alive, but the music box near her on her nightstand, when it turned on while she went to sleep, awoke the bugs. They went to work on her, cured
her,
quote unquote, and the boy has since been sustaining her ever since then.
Yeah.
So, but the bugs will repair the physiological problems, but they don't do so well with the memory. So he's sustained this hoax with her about being her father, and
Yeah.
father knows best, and this is what we have to do so that we can live and be protected. And when his mother remembers what's going on and remembers who she is, she's immediately horrified with him.
Yeah.
And the landlord, then the boy then decides, okay, well, you know what, it's time for everybody else in the room to die now,
Yeah.
because this is how I'm done, and summons the bugs. And the doctor tells Elisa, the mother, no, you're the parent, be the parent.
Yeah.
You can decide what happens now. And she figures out that, oh, the boy doesn't train and command the bugs. She actually can control the bugs. How interlocking relationship. We're just going to accept that the actual dryad standing in the room can control the wood lice. We'll just go with that and
Yeah.
let it there.
Yeah, that
But
works better.
She controls the bugs so that they're not actively going after Bill and retinue there, and basically hugs the boy and says, it has to end. It's our time. We can't do this anymore. And he's crying, I don't want to go. And he's very, the character is very, very childlike.
Yeah.
Which he would be, because he's been caring for his mother since he was like age 6, and luring people to do this every 20 years of his life. So he really has no social interaction. There's no technology. He doesn't have TV. He doesn't have radio. He doesn't have internet. He has nothing. He has no idea about what's going on in the outside world. So he would be very childlike, which is why he was so creepy.
Yeah. Just a little creepy. Just a little.
But so she hugs him and basically absorbs him. And as they are absorbed, the bugs disintegrate back into the floorboard, and there's a hand sticking out of the wood now. The mother is restoring the flatmates that were recently eaten, so the house basically pukes everybody up.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're out of the house disintegrates
Yeah.
below them, just crumples to the ground. And the doctor makes a crack about, so, looks like back to the realtors for you. Gonna have to go looking for things. Don't say I didn't tell you so.
But we had a other than the house trying to eat us, it was a good place.
It was a good place, yeah. A little drafty. Then we join the doctor as he's returning to the vault, and Nardal's there, and he's very glib and chipper as usual. Doctor is cross with him and is like, "You're cheerful. I'm against cheerful." And Nardal says, you see, you don't have to travel. Lots of monsters here on Earth for you to deal with. You don't have to go anywhere. Stay right here." And again, is just continuously giving him shit about, you have to be here. You made this promise. You have to defend this vault. You have to make sure that nothing and nobody knows of its existence. And you're kind of failing miserably at that.
Yeah.
And the doctor pretty much just tells him to leave him alone. Piss off. And, Nardal warns him, whoever is in the vault has been very restive lately, and you can hear piano playing. Nardal stops. He's like, "You put a piano in there." "Well, how is there a piano in there?" "Well, I put it in there." "You put a piano in there."
Yeah.
Clearly, you opened the door. to move a piano in there? Are you out of your mind? Again, love Matt Lucas. His delivery is just so on point. He does exasperation unbelievably well. But, of course, the doctor, again, tells him to bugger off, basically, and the piano playing continues, and the doctor starts speaking to the vault. He's obviously on friendly speaking terms with whoever's in there, and the piano cuts off, and it's like, oh, come on, I'm trapped here too, this is no fun for me either. Come on, let me in. I have Chinese food, and I'll tell you a story. Oh, and lots of people get eaten in it, and at that point, the piano starts back up playing, and it's Pop Goes the Weasel. It's at this point where, in my notes, I'm like, okay, so it's obviously Missy in the vault. Why is Missy in the vault? If you haven't picked up on the fact that it's obviously Missy in the vault.
Of course it's Missy.
All right, so why is the doctor guarding her? What is going on? What has she gotten into now that she is basically in a witness protection agency and that he is her guard?
Yes.
And if anybody finds out that she's there, it's going to be very bad for everybody. But, so the episode ends with the doctor going to the vault and it closes the door. And that's it. No other mention. It's just that very subtle drop of insanity and friendliness in between the two of them. If it's not Missy and I'm wrong about this, I will publicly apologize to everybody. But it is so obviously Missy at this point.
I love the fact that you're a year behind right now.
Well, again, you're playing catch up. I'm playing catch up, so it's...
I'm over here going...
shush.
Not saying anything.
Remember what River said. No spoilers, and it'll be good for our listeners,
maybe
bless all of you, to hear my reactions and have your same thing going, oh, this dude's so far behind. He has so much in front of him. But as we keep that in mind, we go on to Oxygen.
Yes.
Which, again, subtle hint, there's probably going to be problems with the air.
Just a little.
But it opens up. Two dead astronauts, we assume they're dead because they don't have helmets on their suits, just kind of cartwheeling through space. And it took me a little while to get through this opening monologue because as soon as the doctor comes on and says space, the final frontier, I immediately bust into gut-wrenching laughter and just had to pause and rewind.
You're like, did he really?
It's like, oh, okay, we're Kirk all of a sudden.
Well, yes.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, it's again, he continues on, space, the final frontier. Final because it wants to kill us. Dark.
Just a little.
Sometimes we forget that and start taking things for granted. The suits, the ships, the tiny bubbles that protect us. But the void is always waiting. Again, okay, lots of people are about to die.
Oh, yeah.
Horribly, apparently. And it cuts into a space station, the exterior of a space station. Two astronauts are trying desperately to get back inside because they're running out of oxygen. One of them is talking to the other one and telling him, if we get through this, I want to have your babies. And, oh, I know you probably can't hear me because the comms are down too. And it's obvious the dude can't hear her.
Yeah.
And they're just like, over here. And they can't hear each other. But as they're trying to get inside, they have to open the airlock and bypass it and do some sort of technical hoobajoo that keeps them from getting immediately in. The two cartwheeling suits from out in space happen to have the right trajectory to land on the station and employ their magnetic boots and rip the helmet off the poor girl who had family plans.
I know.
And of course, because the comms are down and in space nobody can hear you scream, the guy trying to open the airlock does not hear it until he turns around and opening credits. Very to the point.
Yes. People are dying.
Now, after the credits, it opens back up. The doctor is at the chalkboard continuing his dissertation on space and why it wants to kill you with how does space kill you? and then launches into a very detailed explanation of what happens to the human body whenever it is exposed to the vacuum of space, including if there's any air in your lungs will explode. Don't hold your breath. Your blood vessels will begin to burst almost instantly. Oh, yeah, and because liquid has a lower boiling point in
a vacuum.
your sweat and your saliva and the fluid around your eyes will start to boil, but you don't have to worry about that because 15 seconds in, you pass out due to oxygen bubbles in your blood. 90 seconds into it, you're dead. And he's very kind of chipper about this. Just like, isn't this fun? Isn't this fascinating?
It's fascinating, but seriously, Doctor, why?
And, any questions, girl raises her hand. He's like, yes. And like, what does this have to do with crop rotation? Nothing, but isn't space fun? Like, okay, the Doctor is obviously in a malaise as to not being able to traipse about the universe at his whim, and he's missing his adventures out in space, and Nardole is very concerned about this, and the tension between the two of them is continuing to mount because it's just, leave me alone. No, I'm concerned. You need to be okay. You made your vow, and he just keeps browbeating him about it, and it just kind of worsens his Time Lord depression, basically, about not being able to do his thing.
He's not able to run around the universe.
Yeah, he's on a leash. He's used to his freedom, so this is very literally a prison sentence for the Doctor as well as whoever Missy is in the vault.
Whoever it is.
Yeah, whoever it happens to be. But it's becoming a serious problem to the point where the Doctor basically just breaks, and it cuts to him and Bill in the TARDIS, and he's going, so, where do you want to go? Pick a spot on the map. Anywhere, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, pick a spot. And Bill picks a spot. He's like, oh, yeah, we could go there. It's kind of boring. How about we go here? And it's like, he obviously knew where he wanted to go in the first place. So it's that I'm giving you a choice, but it's not really a choice. You're going to do what I want you to do anyway.
This is where we're going.
Yeah. At which point, Nardole shows up and is like, what are you doing? What are you up to? You're not leaving, right? You're not going anywhere. You made an oath, sir. And the Doctor is like, yeah, no, I'm going to go. Nardole holds up a little gadget. He's like, do you know what this is? This is a fluid something. I can't remember what it was. It's from the TARDIS can't go anywhere without this.
The fluid link.
Oh, okay. And the Doctor replies with, so, who told you that? Well, you did, and you believed me, and he hits the lever, and the TARDIS takes off, and he just kidnapped Nardole. It's like, well, if you're going to give me shit, you're coming with me. What you gonna do?
Yes.
Which, again, nobody should ever think that just because the Doctor is a force of good that he's above lying every step of the way. He will use deception at every turn.
He is chaotic good.
Oh, absolutely, he is. Like, he is the archetypical chaotic good. Just like it's a madness. You appreciate the fact when it's on your side, but you kind of wish it wasn't there at all.
Yes.
But so of course they end up being on the space station in question.
Right.
Because the TARDIS loves trouble, and
of course
it's a distress call. So of course we're going to go to the distress call because you see the face of the universe best when it asks you for help.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all the reason the Doctor needs to traipse right off into certain disaster and doom. But when they get there, they realize very quickly that there is no oxygen on the station.
Yes.
And the only oxygen they're breathing outside of the TARDIS is literally being produced from the TARDIS. So, like, the Doctor kicks the doors back open, kind of like leaving the room open where the air conditioning's in the other room. It's just letting it out.
He's like, yeah, we're still getting enough over here.
Yeah, like, well, how much? Enough to take a stroll. And again, Nardole is just like, yeah, that's great. Let's go back inside.
Yeah. He immediately knows that there's something very wrong.
Yeah, this is not good. We're in danger immediately. We should really get out of here. Don't mess with other people's business. They can sort it out. Surely. Yeah. He just wants to get out of there. Now, as they open the airlock door and goes, there's a little gauge on the wall that immediately springs up with illegal or unauthorized oxygen
Yes.
in place. So it's like, unauthorized oxygen. This is a human space station. How is oxygen unauthorized? What is going on here?
What is this?
Who has been messing with the system? But as they go into the first room, they immediately encounter an astronaut standing in the middle of the room
Yep.
until they get around him, and nobody's home. He is dead as a doornail. It's
Oh, just a little dead.
the suit that's standing, not the person. He's just along for the ride.
Yeah.
So, but his air tank is full. How did he die? And his foot, there's a force field around his face that would be sufficient, according to the doctor and Nardal, to keep oxygen around him so that he can breathe, but not let it out so they can keep the rest of the station in a zero oxygen state.
Yeah.
Again, weird. Why are we doing this?
I don't know.
So how did he die? The doctor finds a listing, says, okay, there's 40 workers, and there's a listing for 36 fatalities, which means there's 4 survivors left. Bill and Nardal want a PTFO. They want to get out of there.
Do you blame them?
No, I don't. Absolutely not. Caution is a good thing.
Yeah.
But, of course, the doctor has already made a point a couple of times about scaring them to keep their adrenaline up, because fear is a good thing, so they react faster, they think faster. Well, they're definitely going for the flight response on this. They just want to get out. And, of course, the doctor is just staring off into the next hallway, completely focused. He's like a bloodhound with a scent. And Bill tries to, puts a hand on his shoulder, let's get out of here. And he turns around and says, the universe shows us its face by asking for help. We show ours by how we respond. Like,
All right.
okay, so
fine.
we're going after the survivors. we quickly figure out that the suits are moving by themselves because they find a suit moving around, moving stuff in a cargo bay. And
Yeah.
Doctor waits for Bill and Nardal to get real close to it before he uses the sonic to pop the helmet off and scare the bejesus out of
Yeah.
them. And it's like, why did you do that? Well, I want to keep you kind of scared, keep the adrenaline up. You know,
We don't need it this much.
it's a good thing. And they're like, has anybody hit you? Yeah,
A few times.
It's happened. And so they figure out that the suits are moving and performing very simple tasks on their own, basic
Right.
maintenance and thing, but doesn't seem to be any complicated situations. And again, there's no O2 on the station. There never was.
No.
This is where they're piecing things together about the force field around the dude's head and why it was a vacuum. The only O2 on the station is sold to the workers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's literally the old coal mine company store routine. The
Yeah.
space station is a mining operation. They're mining copper, I believe it was. And it's literally like it's inefficient. It's unprofitable to fill all this empty space with oxygen when you can just have it
Yeah.
right here. And yeah, you have to buy it.
Yeah, it comes out of your paycheck.
So it's turning these workers into indentured servants, basically.
Yes.
They're stuck in a never-ending loop because they have to buy everything else, but they start measuring things in breaths.
Yeah.
You have X amount of breaths left. That's really messed up psychologically for anybody. Like, oh my god, I worry about okay, I got to pay the electric bill. I might get it turned off for a day or so, but I'll
It
be able to pay
happens.
it. It happens, or like cable or something like that, or I've got to eat ramen noodles for a week because I'm kind of broke.
That too.
Never once have I been worried about, oh my god, I got to pay the oxygen bill.
Yeah.
That's messed up. That should be under okay, you're my employer. You have to provide me with oxygen.
Yeah, just please. For free.
Right. So, with all this going on, in order to keep the prices stable, of course, they pump all of the oxygen out, and any unauthorized oxygen, quote unquote, is immediately siphoned off and refiltered so they can resell it.
Yep.
So the TARDIS slams its door closed because it senses
It's like,
a
whoa.
threat.
Yeah.
And
Because
all-
otherwise it would pull all of the oxygen out of the TARDIS as well.
Right, so it seals itself off, which doesn't much matter because then everything else gets sealed off, pretty much locking people in place. So they have to put the suits on. They've figured out that the suits are actually programmed to remove the organic units, the people.
Yeah.
So which has created the station filled with suit zombies.
Yep. It's
But-
zombies in space.
But they figure, yeah, it's zombies in space. We've seen this a million times, but in order to survive, because all of the oxygen is being pumped out, they have to put the suits on. They're hoping because these suits were in the repair bay that they were offline and didn't get the reprogramming to just, hey, wipe
Out everyone.
whatever is wearing you.
Yeah.
Wipe out the meat puppets, the meat bags. So they put it on, and they're actually able to go and find some of the survivors who have made contact through the repair bay, because they're
Yep.
telling them, okay, get out of there. Get out of there soon, because they're coming for you.
There are space zombies coming. Spacesuit zombies coming to get you.
Right, and of course, chase scene ensues.
Oh, yeah.
They're able to meet up with some of the workers who, of course, like, thank you for opening the door. We almost didn't. We really thought about it. Who are you? Then, of course, the psychic paper comes out. And they, oh, you work for the Alliance? I didn't even know they were still alive or what,
Yeah.
in existence. Like, well, we are, and we're here. We're here to rescue you. I'm the guy who's going to rescue you. Now shut up and let me rescue you. And, of course, we've got 4 disgruntled people there.
Yes, just a little.
One of them is bright blue with yellow eyes, who Bill keeps staring at.
Yes.
And the blue guy, the bluish guy,
Yeah.
is like, is there a problem? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I've just never seen someone like you before. And he's like, oh, great. One of the rescue team is a racist. He's like,
Yeah.
wait,
No,
I'm
no.
not a racist. I've just never seen, like, I'm sorry, but
I've literally never seen someone like you before.
usually I'm on the other side of the racism. He's like, why? And
Yeah.
it's just one of those, like,
I have to explain
what's
that.
wrong with your color? Sister girl over there is darker than you are. What's the problem? He's blown away, like, why?
He's like,
What's
this
wrong
doesn't
with
make any
your color?
sense.
So it's just that nice little jag about racism and bigotry right in there. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Especially where Bill's involved, where, again, dark-skinned lesbian. She's probably had to deal with a little bit of
I have no idea what you're talking about.
intolerance in her life, to put it lightly.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Of course, they send out the distress signal again, and there's they find out about, oh yeah, we measure everything in breaths. That's why everything is mapped out this way. We stay inside because they're slower inside. Outside, they're at the advantage because they are able to move faster than we can.
Right.
So we stay inside.
They use the oxygen tanks to move.
Right. And the zombies outside have figured out, the suits have figured out how to bypass the lock, fix the lock, so they can get in and kill the rest of the meat bags that are in there.
Yep.
So, of course, door opens, another chase scene ensues where they're backed into a corner and they're in an airlock, and Bill's suit keeps glitching here and there where she can't move, and it's
Or,
kind of
it won't
taken the
seal. Or
the programming, and this time it glitches out, and it removes the helmet
Yeah.
from her head. Now, the helmet is important because the force field around her neck that's keeping the oxygen in place there is not strong enough for the void of space. So
Yep.
you're going to be affected by catastrophic decompression if exposed to this, meaning she's gonna die.
yeah. Of course.
So, and the doctor can't save her because the sequence to open the airlock has already ensued. So, things start to play out, and she starts to suffer the decompression, passes out. At which point, she's woozy scenes where she sees something here and there. Somebody's firing a rifle.
Yep.
They're moving. She kind of sees a glimpse of the doctor. And then she wakes up, still standing in the suit. The helmet's off. They're obviously inside. Nardal and one of the survivors comes and checks on her. Is like, oh, she's awake. See, I told you she'd wake up. It's all right. He's always so chipper and be like, yeah, it's all right. See, it's all good.
He's 90% robot. It doesn't matter to him.
Yeah. He's just like, it's a companion. We'll get a new one sooner or later. But
we've seen where this ends up anyway.
Right. And we find out, the only reason Bill survived was because the doctor put his helmet on her suit.
Yep.
And, well, how did he survive? He almost didn't. He'll be okay, but there was a price to pay.
Yes.
And, that price was actually fairly high because the doctor is completely blind due to the exposure. So he's alive, but he has no sight whatsoever.
He is cataract over.
Yeah. Which, of course, Bill is freaked out and gives him the "why did you do that for me" kind of speech.
He's like, well, because.
Yeah. Stop. I mean, he evades the question in typical Doctor fashion. Basically, stop being an idiot. Of course I did that for you. You're my friend.
I mean, the way he looks at it, his
sort of
eyesight is worth less than her entire life.
Right. And plus, he's fairly certain that when he gets back to the TARDIS, I can get healed up back there. If nothing else, I've got a pair of eyes back there. They're lizard eyes, but they should be okay. It should be all right. So again, he's blowing it off. So it's one of those. Is he telling the truth? Can he actually repair his eyes, or is he just telling this?
Well, I mean,
to Bill to assuage her survivor guilt.
So to put it in a way, yes, they could heal, because what was it? Matt Smith's last episode. When he goes back into the TARDIS, he's young again. Like, he completely healed at the very end when he goes back into the TARDIS, just before the regeneration kicks in.
Fair enough.
So, yes, of course, why wouldn't the TARDIS heal the Doctor?
The TARDIS is the Doctor's iron lung.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. So, sound theory, in which case, like you said, for him, it's like, whatever, I'll get over it.
Yeah. I mean,
But to any of us mortals, losing your eyes is kind of a big thing.
For him, it's like waking up with pink eye. He's like, don't worry, it'll fix in a little while.
Yeah, it sucks. I'll be fine. I'll get through it. While it seems the suit zombies are being held at bay because they have managed to find themselves in an unfinished section of the station, so it's literally off the map for them. The AI in
it's
the
just
suits can't read it. It's literally
where'd they
not
go
there. So they've got a little bubble where they can be safe for at least a minute, where they pick up a transponder from another ship and it's like, oh, they're finally sending us a rescue ship. Well, wait a minute, if the rescue ship is on its way, then who are you people again? You're not from here. And the Doctor, of course, is like, listen, again, I'm the guy who's going to save you. After I save you, you're going to wonder who I am, and that will be the mystery for the rest of your life. You won't know. So just shut up. But at this point, and of course, another crew member gets killed because the AI in the suits managed to map out on their own
this area.
The connection between the area, and all they have to do is touch somebody else to reprogram the suit. Which immediately, makes the suit go kill all meat bags and kill its occupant.
Yep, immediately.
Immediately frying them out, or disengaging their neurological system is the exact wording that the suits use.
It's brain killing them.
Yeah,
immediately.
It's basically just frying their nervous system.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
And of course, another chase scene ensues because of the map updating. During the escape, Bill's suit glitches again.
Yes. Of course it does.
Which, of course, it does. She can't move at all.
No.
And again, the Doctor has to do one of his apology speeches to a companion saying, I have to leave you here. I will save you. This is going to suck. You will go through hell, but I will save you. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
And
it's hard.
Runs away, and of course the suits catch up with Bill and touch her, and kill all meatbags. Programming ensues, and you get a quick like life flashes before her eyes,
Yep.
and then the head goes limp. I'm like, wow, did we just literally kill off another companion? She didn't even last halfway through the season.
Yeah.
That's... Oh, okay, but again, the Doctor has promised he will save her, so we've seen the lengths to which he will go in the past.
Yep.
Dead is not dead until the Doctor says they're dead.
Right. Right.
And even then, he may be lying.
Well, of course.
But he and the remaining 2 survivors manage to get to a sealed-off spot where the Doctor immediately starts rigging the system to explode.
Yes.
To destroy the entire station, because
Of course.
if we're going to go out like this, these people, it's the bottom line. It is the bottom line that your employers are looking out for. You mean nothing to them. Human life means nothing. The suits have been programmed to do this. That wasn't a hack. This wasn't a glitch. This wasn't some unprogrammed thing. This is the system. You're being unproductive. You said yourself the conveyor lines are down. The suits are doing what they were told to do. The ship coming in is not a rescue ship. It's your replacements.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm rigging the system to blow, because if we're all going to die, we're going to deprive them of every penny possible. We are going to make this as expensive for them as we possibly can, because all they've given us, the only option they've given us, is a noble death. So, this is Sparta.
Rise up and destroy the proletariat.
Yes, rise up my working class, and it is very much a Bolshevik speech.
I know.
And of course it works on the 2 people who are about to die anyway, so they decide, okay, yeah, it's the choice of, you're being drugged into a gladiatorial arena. Are you being drugged into the fight, or are you marching in with your head held high, just going, all right, you know what, bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it on. You're not taking me without a fight. Which, of course, whenever the suits get in, because, of course, we're fighting the bottom line, the corporations. We're literally fighting the suits.
Yes.
Boom. It's like, oh, yes, we fully embrace the fact that this is the anti-capitalism episode, which it fully is. This is how far this system could theoretically go due to humanity's natural tendency towards greed.
Yes.
It's horrifying, but yeah, I could totally see us meatbags going that far.
Oh.
It's just...
It's been done in the past.
We've had political leaders who have done it in the past.
Yeah.
We have some political world leaders that are attempting to do it right now, or are doing it right now.
Yep.
So we know the propensity is there.
Yeah.
It's the morality line that Doctor Who is always pulling to the forefront, going, don't be scumbags.
Seriously, stop it.
Stop it.
Be good.
So when the suits come in, finally break in,
yes,
they immediately stop, because the Doctor says, killing us will be very expensive. Like, and the AI starts recalculating and gives them their oxygen, the spare oxygen to keep them alive, because now if they're not around to keep the system from blowing up,
the system will blow up.
The system will
There's
blow up.
no more profit.
We can't allow that. So, yeah, we're going to keep you alive. Okay, point well made. Sorry about that.
Sorry, oops.
So, of course, the Doctor gets the remaining 2 survivors, and Bill comes back because it's just a neurological block. She hasn't been under long enough for her neurons to completely fry out, so he's able to bring her back.
Basically, she got very, very heavily tased.
Yeah, really heavily tased.
And it's also a plus side of her suit malfunctioning.
Right.
Because it didn't actually kill her.
Right.
It was like, tase.
Which is back to the Doctor taking a little bit of a gamble and promising that he would save her. He was counting on the suit not being able to deliver a lethal shock.
Right.
Just really, it did not look good. She had the vein going on up the neck and the head. Yeah, no, I thought she was dead. I thought we just needed a new companion. And be like, okay, so Nardal really is the companion this season. He's just going to have a couple of, like, cameo appearances, Companion 5.0. He ends up drawing the 2 survivors. He takes them in the TARDIS, and says, I can take you anywhere. Where do you want to go? And they say, well, let's take us to home office. We have a bit of a complaint to file. Like, okay. So apparently he does that, and then we're back in the college office with the Bill and the doctor, and she's asking, well, what happened? What happened to them? He's like, I don't know what happened to them. Well, okay, I know, like, 6 months later, there might have been a revolution that totally overthrew the corporations, and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, yeah, he's describing the Bolshevik Revolution. Okay.
It's just a little revolution.
Power to the people, and we got over the whole capitalism thing, and humanity was so much better because we valued human life above material possession.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta, jab the Buddhism in there, too. Just stuffing it down the morality throat. Which is exactly what he does, very tactfully and very artfully, but it's still, if it's like just slapping you upside the face. Don't be an idiot. Value people over things.
Yes.
And Bill toddles off. She's like, all right, that was fun. I'll catch you later. And off she goes, and Nardole comes in and immediately starts yelling at the doctor again, how irresponsible he was. What if he had died? What if they had come back diseased?
Yes.
You've got to guard the vault. We all know how dangerous that it is. You're being a complete asshole about this. What is wrong with you? Look at me. And the doctor says, I can't look at you. No, seriously, you need to look at me. No, Nardole, I can't look at you. I'm blind.
Yeah, can't look at anything.
Can't look at anything. End of episode. Like, what?
Yes.
Okay, so if the doctor could have been healed by the TARDIS, how badly damaged were his eyes? What is up with this?
Or is this something that the TARDIS is doing to him? TARDIS is like, nah, I am actually going to punish you for this, though.
Right.
Even though I was the one that kind of took you there. Thanks.
Well, no, see, there again, the TARDIS took them to Victoria for thin ice.
Oh, yeah.
To London, because that needed to be handled, but this was a side jaunt that he picked on his own, because
that's true.
Railroaded Bill into it, and then railroaded Nardole into it, kidnapped him.
He was just like, there's a
a
signal. We need to go help people.
Yeah, going into the following episodes, that's something I'll keep in mind. Is it the TARDIS that's actually pissed at the doctor because you're being a naughty boy?
Stop it.
But she can't be overly mad at him because she did take him.
Yes.
Because as we've seen in the past, if this is the TARDIS, she's being very passive aggressive about
She is.
this.
She kind of is.
Very passive aggressive. Like, I'm going to let you do your stupid stuff, and I'm going to make it really hard on you.
I am not actually helping you.
Which, again, might explain, why doesn't the doctor ever really have a girlfriend? He has one.
Yeah, yes! It's the TARDIS!
And she will always find him.
The TARDIS is his truest companion.
Yes.
Or is the Doctor the TARDIS's truest companion?
Right, yeah. Who exactly is the sidekick in this situation? Who is the extension of whom?
It's a tough one.
It could be debated, but yes, it ends with that cliffhanger. The doctor is blind, wearing his sunglasses again.
Hey, I told you, there's a reason for the sunglaslasses.
We shall see.
It took like a year.
see, I like what I did there. Yeah, I'm going to end with a bad joke right there. So we will see you next time.
Yes, we will. Go ahead and, in the meantime, slam that like button, join the notification squad, and become one of us.